Bellina Show on a Thursday. The 1 o'clock hour on the Louie Bellina Show on a Thursday. 1 + 1 + 1 equals Rusty Burson, joining us on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you don't know Rusty, what? Rusty Burson is an Aggie historian. He is an author, and he joins us every Thursday on the, text message pops up, and they're talking about craft beer. And I'm like, hey, whoa, beer? Beer, pizza, bacon? And I'm like a dog that sees a cat go by. Rusty Burson joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Rusty, what's up in your world, dude?
Well, I've going to go buy my third Aggie ring today. Pretty good for a guy who didn't go to A&M, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, is this for your child?
Yep.
You just in the mood to wear one? You sell them on the dark web? I mean, what are you doing?
This is for child number 3. So she's ordering her ring today, and so 3 for 3.
Can I say congratulations? Is that the right response? Because I think that's freaking awesome.
I'm pretty pleased with that. You know, I never knew. We moved here in 1998, and my son, who's 30 now, was like 2, and didn't know if the kids would want to go off somewhere else because they were raised in Bryan College Station, and quite frankly, all 3 of them were raised at Aggie sporting events. So to get 3 for 3, they never even applied anywhere else. So that's pretty cool. That
is awesome. And back in the day when I attended Texas A&M, all you had to do is pick up the crayon and you can get in, and kind of make an X. And it has changed mightily since then.
Yeah, and my kids all did it. I think none of them got in straight away. They all went to blend for 3 semesters and transferred over. So it's a wise decision. It was cheaper for Dad, and they took a lot of the same classes anyway. So it certainly didn't hurt them at all.
No, not at all. We have a bunch of things that have been popping up today. I'd like to get your weigh in, kind of your votes. A, if you're drafting one college football quarterback for the upcoming college football season, who would you take? And then, as opposed to just throwing you on the spot, Chambliss, Moore, Marcel, Julian Sayin, who are you taking?
None of the above.
Well, who are you taking?
I'm gonna take Arch. I think he's got the biggest upside.
Don't make me throw you off the D4 Land Services hotline. A, I know you wouldn't even do that if you believed it. B, I know you don't believe it.
I actually think that he's, from where he was at the start of last year to where he was at the end of last year, amazing progress in 1 year. So, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of progress he's made in the off season. I think that, if he were to come out, this next year, I'm pretty sure he's either number 1 or number 2. Sayin is probably right there, but I really think that I think I'd take Arch, Lou.
Really? No joking now. You're kidding. Arch Manning?
Yeah, I watched him beat A&M with his legs and just the way he again, I watched him in the first game of the year last year against Ohio State and think, oh my gosh, this guy's so overrated. But then, as he progressed, he really grew, and that's something that I haven't seen a lot of A&M quarterbacks do, grow as the season progresses. I can't remember. I think we've probably talked about this, but I don't know if I've seen a quarterback at A&M get better every year since
Kellen Mond.
Kellen Mond, yeah. That's really the last one that comes to mind.
Yep. I guess for me, I think Trinidad Chambliss is a better version of Arch Manning.
Well, he certainly has been around longer. You couldn't. I don't think you could go wrong with taking Chambliss. But I just, again, gut feel is that Arch Manning is going to be probably the number 1 pick in the draft when he comes out, and I don't think a lot of it has to do with pedigree, the name. His running ability is really a lot better than I thought it would be, because his uncles, they didn't have that, and he does, and he's a lot faster than people give him credit for, and A&M saw that.
And I wonder on the NFL level, I want to see the scouting reports on Julian Sayin, because when I look at him, everything looks like NFL. I mean, just his throwing ability. Maybe he's 1.5 inches short on arm span. You know how that goes, right? NFL models and stuff. And because he's missing 3/4 of an inch on his left pinky finger, maybe he's an imperfect quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's pretty darn good. Like I said, if you chose Chambliss and somebody else chose Sayin, and I wouldn't say you're wrong. I'd just say that in my gut, I feel like Arch is going to have a really good year, whether I like it or not.
I think he is too, because he has two wide receivers, basically the top 10 wide receivers in the country.
Yeah,
he has a built-in insurance plan. They got him two running backs because they had a running game that ranked outside the top 100 in D1. That won't be true again. Like, I agree. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. I don't want to overly do it like Arch is a bum, but no, I think he's going to have a great year too.
Well, I think he got way too much hype going into last year. I mean, and so then when he really played poorly in the opener against a really good Ohio State team on the road, not just poorly, he was really bad, I thought, in that first game. And then I didn't watch all his games the rest of the year. I mean, I'm too busy watching A&M, right? And so I kind of saw a little bit here and there. It's like, he's getting better. There's no doubt. He's hitting some of these guys. But he's still throwing, some wild ones. But by the time he played A&M, I was just like, golly, he was so poised in the second half and just, head up. I felt like going into that game, if I had a choice between Marcel Reed and Arch Manning going into it, I would have said, give me Marcel Reed. But then coming out of it, it was like, no, he's clearly head and shoulders above Marcel Reed now. And maybe that's putting too much on one game, probably is, but it's just in the games that I really watch closely, he just progressed. And again, what he did against A&M, really, really impressive. I didn't think he could do it.
Here's what I can tell you. I watched a lot of Longhorn football. Their games kept coming on at times that I could watch them. Because, on an Aggie football game day, I would do the Zone Game Day show, which is like 3 hours before kickoff. And then on the home games, I'd do the call-in show with Dusty, which would last until like 2.5, and I wouldn't get home for 3 hours. So my watching windows were very narrow, but Longhorn football popped up a lot.
Right.
Arch Manning had no support around him. His offensive line was atrocious. Some of it was injuries, but it was awful. And the number of drops he had was insane. And if people think I'm being an apologist, I'm just telling you that was part of the and they had a running game, but when you have no O-line, you don't have a running game. So they had a running back they couldn't use. Awful O-line, really bad receiving corps, which is why you saw what they did in the portal. They addressed all of it. They fixed things. And watching him develop and watching his throws when he had time, you knew there was talent there.
Yep. Yeah, and unfortunately, they're really going to be pretty good this year, I'm afraid.
Schedule's brutal, though.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be very good every week. Will they have that consistency? And I still think the O-line has to prove it. I know it's there on paper, but they're still going to have to do it on the O-line. Just like A&M. A&M on paper O-line has the potential to be outstanding on paper. I don't doubt Adam Cushing, but you still have to do it.
I think a lot of times you're just going to throw it up to Cam, with his that guy's pretty special, right? Cam Coleman. That was a big get for them. That was not one that I was really excited about them getting. But he's got some weapons over there now.
No, I know A&M was from what I heard, or just I guess stories online that A&M was in, and I'm like, well, I don't know if you can break your whole budget on them, but I hope they have enough of a budget for them.
Yeah, it's just so crazy, the whole budget thing. It's just like, God, I don't want I heard you get on the rant earlier, and I totally agree with you in terms of, like, you reach your boiling point with all the lawyers and stuff, and it's just amazing to me how much money these folks are making, and so many of them will never make it to the NFL. So I hope they're investing their money. I hope they're not they don't ruin their whole lives later on because they go from being a lifestyle of, hey, I'm making $2 million to, like, hey, nobody wants me to play football anymore, and this job they're offering me like $70,000 to work. every day, like the whole year, and I don't think I can afford that. It's like, well, again, I hope, and maybe they do have it. Maybe they have the life skills coaches, or maybe they're hammering them with invest. Here's your financial planner. Take this. But I don't know. I've seen too many guys in the NFL really blow it, and in the NBA, all these guys who get the money for the first time, and I hope that they're being wise with it.
Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you ever need some forestry, mulching, pond construction, d4landservices.com. Land clearing, land fixed, land excavation. Check out d4landservices.com. You're talking about life coaches and stuff, right?
Right.
Do you think these guys that are getting the $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, the quarterbacks and stuff, life coaches, they got posses. They got people around them that have told them yes their whole life. How much life coaching goes on?
That's a good question. I've had long discussions over.
You got guys that are suing because their jerseys are being given back out, and they're telling them to give back their Heisman Trophy replicas. Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know how
life coaching.
Much, yeah, I think the whole football staff, the whole athletic staff have changed so much. I mean, you got this general manager that that I'd never heard of a college. Never would have imagined colleges having general managers like they do in the NFL. But it's necessary now because you have to create this budget and you have to do so many things that it's basically professional sports now, to just with different jerseys and different logos. But it is necessary that someone gets inside their heads and says, this is not going to last forever. It may not last beyond next year, folks. I mean, I don't know how much Marcel Reed is making right now. I mean, I don't know.
$3 million. That was the report. Forget if it's CBS, whoever, but they did. They broke it down by tiers. Which programs are $40 million plus? LSU's the highest of 50, and this is all alleged. 247. Whoever did it, right? And this is all allegedly, right? Because there's no facts in this. But A&M is one of the schools that A&M is almost 30, almost 40. Will go over 40 if bonuses are met. So they're on the back end of the group at 40. LSU's the high end at 50. And they said, and then for each team, they said who's the highest paid player, and they put Marcel at $3 million.
So I'm looking at I'm NFL website. I'm looking at different quarterbacks, what they're making this year. Like Kyler Murray this year with the Vikings is making 1.3.
He's not worth it, though.
No, I mean, he's probably not. But, I mean, Cooper Rush with the Falcons, 1.3. And, I mean, obviously, you got the top, Patrick Mahomes, $448 million total. It's $64 million a year. But, and then Dak Prescott, $60 million a year, which obviously you talk about not worth it. But, I mean, I don't think Marcel Reed's going to, if he makes it in the NFL, I mean, he's not going to make $3 million. Trey Lance with charge $2.5 million.
Hold on. We have to be careful with the NFL because guaranteed money makes the yearly salary not accurate. That's
true.
A disclaimer. We got to be careful.
Right.
Yep.
But I mean, if you just look on down this list, that these guys, they better cherish that $3 million right now because I'm looking at all these quarterbacks. Haynes King, who is making $1.03 million this year. And, so I'm sure he was probably making more than that last year at Georgia Tech. So he probably took a pay cut, right? A lot of these guys are going to take pay cuts, which is really just crazy in the grand scheme of things. I mean, the Packers, their backup quarterback, Kyle McCord, he's making $885. So, I don't even know where he went to school, but it probably made $1 million when he went to school.
Is that why everybody's suing? Does that help us understand the part that I'm tired of?
Because there's more money to be made in college than there is in the pros for some of these guys.
Quite a few of them. Because outside of first round, I don't want to say just the top half, but outside of first round, that's the money. It's first round.
Well, if you're not a starting quarterback, then you're not making this, I mean, we're talking like this is like $1 million isn't enough, right?
Well, you're at Miramont. You're
No.
at Miramont. I get it. For you, you're like, hey, if you don't make $1 million and get free lunch, I can't. We can't talk. So,
hey, I've always told you that I started off in the newspaper industry making $17.5 a year. So
and free lunches.
Well, no, I had free coffee, but that was about it. So yeah, I mean, these guys are going to take a lot of these guys are going to take a dramatic pay cut, even if they make it to the NFL. And then a lot of these guys, they're not going to make it to the NFL.
What's the NFL? And 4.5, 5 years is like the average best case life expectancy rate in the NFL.
Right. So I mean, some of these quarterbacks, they're not guaranteed. I mean, there's just who knows what they're going to make. I'm looking at Brandon Allen. It was back up with the Giants. $250,000. That's not guaranteed. And so if he was making, $2 million in college, that's a major adjustment. And that's why they're suing, like you said, to get back into college. There's more money to be made in college athletics for some of these guys than there are in the pro.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. You have a great point. Again, and it comes down to, because it's the upper third, if even that many, that get to make the 90% of the money part. Hey, Rusty, quick timeout. Come back. You want to talk RC Slocum?
Oh, I always want to talk RC.
Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author, here on the Louie Bellina Show. Thursday, Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. That's CC Electric.
Activate. Spin your Aggie football Saturdays, starting with the game day show, to the game, to the call-in show, and only on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, Residential, Commercial, Industrial Services. I, Louie Bellina, sit inside the Charles Schwab studio Monday through Friday. Comfortable. Our air conditioner was broken here, I don't know if it was 2-3 weeks ago. Alberto's our building manager. Dude crushed it. It works better than before it was broken. God bless you, Alberto. We're joined again, Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author. Rusty, I'm pretty sure you've heard that, RC Slocum, Friday, 2 o'clock, September 4th, his statue is going to go up outside Kyle Field.
Yeah, that's well-deserved. I mean, obviously, the guy's, he's the most successful football coach in Texas A&M history in so many different categories. Just the consistency, what he did after the program was on the rocks and, near death penalty, just turmoil of all the probation, and then for him to have that steadying hand and just the consistency that he showed for years and years and years. Very representative of Texas A&M with class, and they couldn't have made a better decision on somebody to honor.
I talked way back when we first started, 11. Only 12. Okay, in 14 seasons, he only lost 12 home games. In 14 seasons, he only lost 12 home games. You could pick what accomplishment of his is the most impressive to you. I'm obsessed with that one.
Yeah, I mean, they owned Kyle Field for so long. There for the longest time, I remember writing game stories, and you just change the numbers. A&M ran its, conference consecutive victories to 26 in a row. Just for 3 years, all you did is just change the number from week to week and stretch the home winning streak to this. And, he won 4 conference championships. The sad thing, the crazy thing is he also was responsible for the last conference championship. It's been a long time since he coached.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 98, Big 12 title was really spectacular. No one expected A&M to beat Kansas State that day. I'll never forget him holding the trophy up in the locker room with that team, and just him being interviewed right after the game. After Sir Parker scored, and it was just one of my favorite moments of all time. And so he was, right in the midst of so many great times, so many great teams, and what he did even before he became head coach, what he did to create the wrecking crew and the defensive coordinator that he was for so long, and you know, the fact that he went to coach at USC, but only for 1 year because he missed A&M so much. And I mean, he's just, you know, embodies A&M, and I love hearing him talk stories about how he got hired, and you know, Emory Ballard, and you know, he hired and taking a chance on this guy, and just, I don't know. I mean, he is iconic with Texas A&M football.
No, okay. He is the most iconic anything Aggie athletics. I can bring all sports into this, and it's not an insult to any other sport, but he's the most iconic anything Aggie athletics. And to cement that, his 2 stints as the interim, like when he was still called after retirement, he still served. And I think the last time he provided a great calm to it all.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's, you know, been consultant to how many presidents, and he's done everything necessary, and just, again, always representing Texas A&M with class. And you know, I go back to so many times, so many memories of him. You know, one of my favorites is him taking that second team that he ever coached as head coach to the Holiday Bowl, and BYU was all disappointed that they didn't have a real team, you know, to face, and that A&M was just coming in there 8-3, and I guess 8-3-1. And, you know, they just felt like disrespected. And A&M just took BYU to the woodshed. And you know, I mean, so creative. You know, Bucky Richardson throwing for a touchdown, running for catching a touchdown pass. And it was just like, and, you know, he was the other quarterback there, you know. So I just, and then he had the run, you know, 91, 92, 93, where they went like 22-0 in the conference, and you know, they were just so far superior to everybody else.
That BYU game, if anybody ever wants to look up the word beatdown in the dictionary, there's a video of that game attached to it.
Yes, there is.
There's someone missing 2 shoulders.
Poor Detmer didn't get one shoulder separated; he got 2 of them.
Yep.
I mean, it was just a beatdown, and you know, again, BYU was just talking trash leading up to that game about how they wanted a bigger name opponent, and just A&M ripped them to shreds.
Sorry, just the whole bigger name opponent part is always lost on me because I just remember the beatdown itself. Like, justice was served, vengeance was taken upon their soul, and Ty Detman. Look, he was going to have children someday. Like, I mean, it was that's illegal in 42 states. What A&M did to him, it was just awesome. It was,
the only unfortunate thing with RC's, his reputation outside of Texas A&M would be so much bigger had A&M done better in the bowl games, because that was the only thing. There's nothing that could tarnish his reputation or his image within the Aggie community, but there was just so many bowl games that, A&M played close in. I remember, the second Cotton Bowl against Notre Dame. Notre Dame just blew A&M away in that first Cotton Bowl. I want to say that was the 93 Cotton Bowl. They had Jerome Bettis, and that team was incredible. But the next year, A&M almost beat Notre Dame. And had they done that, then they finished 10-1, or 11-1, and they're probably, instead of finishing 8th, they're 3 or something like that. And then the next year they were ineligible, so they weren't on TV, and they didn't get to go to a bowl game. And but they were still unbeaten except for that tie, and so against SMU in San Antonio, which is, I still can't believe that happened. But again, the only thing that he didn't do is win very many bowl games, and had he done that, I think he would have gotten even more outside recognition than he did.
Okay, and something to explain. It was a different world then. We didn't have nonstop media.
Right.
So those bowl games were 100 times the value of today.
Right.
Because for a lot of people, it was the only A&M game they saw a year. And we're talking about the poll voters. We're talking about the people that determine things. The influencers of today were the influencers of then. And A&M, with all these wins we keep talking about, only played on New Year's Day, which back then, playing on New Year's Day was the only thing that mattered. There was no CFP. So you wanted to play, and A&M played in Cotton Bowls because A&M was winning 10 games on an 11-game schedule, that kind of thing.
Right.
So not winning bowl games meant something. Now bowl games, everyone opts out. Bowl games, you got guys off the practice squad starting. It was a different world. So not winning that last game meant not winning Cotton Bowls, not winning in front of the gathered influential media. It was costly.
Yeah, as I think back, RC only won 3 bowl games. And, that was, we already talked about one.
In 10 tries, right? Because he went 10 out of 14?
Yeah,
he
was 3-8 in bowl games.
Oh, 11, okay.
11. And he beat down BYU. And then I remember the 95 Alamo Bowl was a lot of fun. They beat Michigan. And that team.
I was there.
I was there, too. And that team was really, really good. That team had a guy named Tom Brady on it. He didn't play, but turned out to be pretty good. And then they beat TCU in the Gallery Furniture Bowl. That's it. Again, he played a lot of close games. I mean, they had a chance in several of those Cotton Bowls. They should have beaten UCLA in that one Cotton Bowl.
Oh.
That win had the interception, and he lateraled it, and that. And it was up big, and they just couldn't hold on. And like I said, the Notre Dame Cotton Bowl, the second one, that would have been so big. And, even going back to that Florida State, that Cotton Bowl, early in his career.
Was that the 10 turnover Cotton Bowl?
Yeah, there was a bunch of them. And I think A&M lost that game. I want to say like 10-2 or something like that.
Yeah, like 5 turnovers.
Yeah, it was crazy. Something like that. But it was like a bitterly cold day in Dallas, like so many of those were. But I remember Coriat just shot out of the cannon to, sack the quarterback for a safety. That's kind of the only thing I remember A&M doing that year.
Man, you're bringing back a lot of memories because there was no party like a Cotton Bowl party.
The Cotton Bowl did it right, didn't they?
The parties they threw,
yeah.
But then being in Dallas for New Year's was its own party. Everybody has at least one DFW friend. I mean, gosh, Cotton Bowl week. And, Louie Bellina show from, Dallas, Fort Worth. And actually at that time, I'm trying to think back. Did I do? Yeah. I got to do some. Generally speaking, I did some Louie Bellina show weeks there, Louie Bellina shows, reporting, you name it. And there ain't no party like a Cotton Bowl party, though.
Do you know the most memorable of all the bowl games that during the Slocum era? I'll never forget what the big-time atmosphere was walking from our hotel in New Orleans into the Sugar Bowl. And it was just so big-time feel. And, it's the first time I was ever around Ohio State fans. And after that, I never wanted to be around Ohio State fans again. Ooh. But they were pretty bad. But just the big time feel of being in New Orleans and playing in that Sugar Bowl, and A&M came out early and bang, 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 they're up. And I remember Dante Hall. Ohio State couldn't stop them, and then Ohio State blocked a punt, and that was it. Turned it all around. But that was such a big time feel. Being on Bourbon Street for the Sugar Bowl was a lot of fun.
I thought you were going to say the Cal Holiday Bowl.
No,
the Holiday Bowl was the worst.
That was actually Fran. So
I thought you were going to say the Holiday Bowl was the worst. The Holiday Bowl was a horrible host. They tried to charge the media to eat lunch. Like there were so many different levels of bad to the Holiday Bowl. The stadium was a dump. Like,
yep.
That's a whole different rant. But
but hey, if we're going to talk about dumps, nothing beats the Independence Bowl for dumpiness.
They had casinos and Cajun food.
Yeah,
sorry.
But I was there for the Snow Bowl.
So was I.
It was awful.
So was I.
That was the New Year's Eve, 1999, and we celebrated. My wife and Homer Jacobs and I celebrated by eating some tacos from a food truck in Shreveport in the snow. It was like, hey, this is memorable.
Did you go to the media dinner they hosted at the house where they mixed up every table had a different media person from a different outlet, but also a different form, so radio, TV, and
no, I didn't.
They had this house that they just it was this old woman who was cooking Cajun food and out of a house, and they took over the whole house for a night.
Hey, one more story before we got to go. I know, but my window got busted out that weekend, right?
What?
So, yeah, I had to drive back to Dallas-Fort Worth because we'd left my kids with my parents. So my poor wife, we put a piece of plastic in the windshield, or excuse me, her side, the passenger window, and we had to drive back on those icy roads all the way to Dallas and then all the way back down to College Station before we get our window fixed.
All right. You want to hear a story?
Sure.
I didn't read the weather forecast. I had no jeans.
You don't tell me you're in the press box with shorts on.
No, I left that morning because I knew I couldn't find a store that was open. I couldn't buy any clothes, so I had to leave.
It was New Year's Eve, yeah.
I got back into College Station at 6 p.m. and bought not a case of beer. I bought a 12-pack of beer and picked up a pizza, turned on my TV to see that the snowplow had broken there. I was there all week. Left before that hit. I left
got
like
lucky.
90 minutes in time.
You got so lucky because I just remember being on the sideline there and watching Mississippi State come back and just...
Oh, well, that part of it.
Yeah, that was not fun. But the statue for RC is well-deserved.
Yes, it was. Hey, Rusty, go be awesome. Thank you always, dude. Always appreciate the time. It's fun to hang with you.
You bet, buddy. Take care.
Later. Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author on the D4 Land Services hotline. We catch up. We hang out. Yeah. You hang out with a historian. Sometimes you tell stories. D4 Land Services. They do land. I mean, it's in the title, Land Services. What do they do to your land? They can fix it up, clear it, excavation, forestry, mulching, pond construction, and they do more. Check it all out at d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. When we come back, I would say the big finish, but truthfully, I have no idea. It's the Louie Bellina Show Thursday on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Houston Astros play in the zone. Thanks to Kelly Bird Dozer.